announcements. I am seeing black walls occasionally, though, that are kinda coming in on me, so if I disappear or if you don't hear me anymore, if Karen or Julie could take over, I'd appreciate it. My first time in here in a new headset, so have to be brave and, flexible. So welcome today. What a great audience we have piling in here. We have a wonderful panel that's going to be speaking today. We're gonna have oh gosh, it just went black. We're gonna have uh, you know what? I have to stop. I can't, for some reason, I'm not seeing things.
Karen, you want to jump in?
I'm sorry. I'm just, yeah, going black here. I'll
Sure, I'm on
come in
my
on my
way.
computer. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, I'm on my way to the stage. Meanwhile, I will say welcome everyone to XR Women Wednesday number 213. Can you believe that number? I can't believe myself, although I've been
Wow.
just about every single one of them. And it's wonderful to see you all here today. Wow, what a great community we have. So many powerhouse women working in XR. So we are truly glad that you're here. So today we have a very special panel that was organized by Julie Smithson on the state of immersive education across the USA. And we have 6 different brilliant women who will be providing their perspectives and the knowledge from the work that they are doing on that topic. So Julie, if you can move on to the next slide, please. Okay, we are very grateful to Frame, first of all. We are in the Frame space here, which they make available to us so that we can have these gatherings. There are a lot of things we can do with this platform, such as host the art gallery, which is in the next room. And there's a new exhibition up there by Juliana Lowe. If you haven't visited yet, please take the time to do so after this session, or come back anytime. This is open 24/7. You can come into the XR Women Museum at any time and view the history of all the women that we've had speak here, as well as to visit the art gallery and see what Juliana has up there, which is pretty amazing. We have many other partners that we are also grateful to, the American Medical XR Association among them. So many people who support our work. It does take a village. We are an all-volunteer run organization. We actually are in the process of getting our nonprofit status. We have our nonprofit status is pending from the IRS in the US. And we would be grateful for donations to help support what we do here in bringing this programming to you. It takes a lot of effort to do this every week and then to do all these special events and programs that we do as well. And so we would welcome your support and that of anyone you know. If you know of any corporate sponsors, please send them along. So we are recording. I've forgotten who our recorder is today, but I trust that one of my colleagues is recording. And people do take pictures, and so your name may be above your head. The chat that you share here. All of these things could become public, so keep that in mind. And please try to respect the presenters and the other audience members by controlling your presence. Mute if you're not speaking. If you are asking a question of the group, make sure to use the megaphone feature so everyone can hear you. Respect everyone's opinions. We're going to have a lot of different people on stage here today sharing different opinions. So you might not agree with all of them, but please be respectful of these opinions. And most importantly, be sure to connect with others here, make those connections and build your network and your community. That's one of the most important reasons we're here. Okay, and we have some new members this week. If any of you on the not just those on the list, but if anyone is here for the first time, please raise your hand or unmute yourself and say hello, or at least just drop a quick note in the chat and let us know that you're here. We always are glad to welcome new members. Okay, awards. Oh, actually, this slide is now out of date. The award nominations closed last Wednesday, but I'm happy to announce that we had a whopping 119 nominations. Really incredible. There is so much talent among the women in this industry, and we are delighted to honor them with these awards. And we'll be presenting the awards at the Augmented World Expo on stage on June 11th from 4 to 5 p.m. And we're looking for sponsors for that award ceremony. So please do get in touch with me or Julie or any other members of our team to share any suggestions you have for potential sponsors. We hope you'll be there. We're also going to have a booth this year for the very first time, and that's really exciting. We've got a booth committee who's working on that, and we hope you'll all who are at AWE will come by and see us. And notice that we have a discount for AWE tickets, 10% off by using the code 25XRWomen10D. So we are so proud of the students in our student chapters. I've worked closely with them, and I can tell you they are amazing. And it's incredible to see the talent that is upcoming in that generation. And I know that one of the president of our Savannah College of Art and Design student chapter is on our panel today, which is amazing. And Valentina Rosas, who's the co-president, is here as well. I don't believe we have any other student chapter members here this morning, but if I've forgotten anyone, I do apologize. But we are delighted to have them amongst us. Oh yes, and the SCAD student chapter is hosting an event this Saturday right here in Frame on April 19th. It starts at noon Eastern time, and there will be a special Mary May, who's an alumna of SCAD. And this is more of a social event, and she's going to, share a little bit of her experience about navigating, becoming an XR designer. But we hope that you, those of you who are professionals or educators in the industry, will also come mix and mingle with these students, learn from them, because believe me, they have things to teach us, and also to support them along their journey. So right back here in Frame at noon Eastern on Saturday. So right about this time is when that will be taking place. I already mentioned the gallery, which is curated by Jenna Lambert, and she just does an incredible job with that. And she also curates the entire museum here, but in particular, the gallery to showcase the work of these innovative women artists that we featured there. Kay Guillory, who I believe is here, Celeste Lear may be here, Trish Giannakis, and now Juliana Lowe, who is the featured artist. And so, as I said before, come back anytime and visit Juliana's work in the gallery. Next week, we're going to have Jenny Taylor from Duke Energy, and they are doing amazing things, really putting XR to work. But unlike a lot of these big companies out there, they're talking about it. And Jenny is going to be with us in Engage to tell us about everything they are doing there at Duke Energy. So please join us. That should be a fascinating conversation. The following week, we're going to have Sarah Hill from Helium. Many of you may be familiar with her. She has been in this space for a very long time, and she's going to share with us some lessons learned from her experience as a media technology CEO. That is going to be back. We'll be back here in Frame to live stream it. It's going to be in YouTube. We're going to be live streaming into here. It's our first time actually doing that sort of live streaming from YouTube into here. So that should be fun. And Sarah's an amazing speaker. So we are ready for the main event, and I see Julie is making her way to the stage. So I will turn it over to you, Julie. Um,
Amazing. Thank you so much. Everybody can hear me. I have my megaphone on and woohoo, happy Wednesday, everyone. If I can ask all the speakers to make their way up here on stage with me, I am going to stop sharing this screen and just move over to a different presentation. Present. Just let me get my screen set up here. Okay, and I need to. Sorry, just moving my screen around and making sure that I've got everything that I've got in front of me. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being with us today. A very special day of hosting this event. We had some time coming up in our schedule, and I believe that we all really need to take a deep dive into what's going on with education. And I'm honored to have the following speakers. I'll call them out by name, and then I'll do introductions of them as they're coming on stage. Laura Kusamoto, Amini Alkahat, Tess McKinney, Shannon Putman, Sarah Barker, and Ned Shoei. And thank you so much, ladies, for being here and sharing your knowledge with all of us today. The purpose of today is to hear the inspiring stories of what is really happening in the classrooms. And today, the takeaway for you all is to be inspired, and to know, with facts about what is really, really happening. There's no politics in today's conversation. The purpose is to open the conversation of where we can implement more of what these ladies are doing. So each of the panelists today will have about 6 minutes to present. They each have about 3 slides that they're going to be sharing. And we're going to take questions at the very end. So this will be a power moment for XR Women to produce this and to really dive into this. And before we get started, I'd like to share something with everybody. This is kind of a love letter that I put together for XR Women, for our community. It's called Dear Education, We Still Believe. And I'm going to start off by reading this. In halls once filled with books and chalk, now screens and silence often talk. The bell still rings, the children file, but something's missing in the aisle. We test and test, then test again, yet rarely ask the how or when. The arts are cut, the budgets are tight, and classrooms lose their guiding light. Teachers strain to do so much more with shrinking funds and closing doors. While tech has grown and AI sings, our kids still dream of deeper things. The wealthy thrive, the poor fall back, a widening and worrisome gap. But hope still breathes in every mind that dares to seek, to build, to find. So let us shape a brighter way where learning lifts, not fades away. A place where voice can rise, the future's written in their eyes. And that's our XR Women wish to everybody today. So thank you. And thanks everybody for being here. So let's get started. Laura Kusamoto, we're going to start with you. Laura Kusamoto is a trailblazing strategic advisor and emerging technology leader whose work has shaped innovations across enterprise and healthcare sectors, with a career spanning through Meta, Deloitte, Disney, Kaiser Permanente, Lego, and numerous startups. Laura specializes in aligning teams with the avatar-based training to AI chatbots and healthcare. Her pioneering contributions have opened new pathways in XR and well-being. And through her consultancy, Iteration Zero, she delivers independent analysis and innovation services grounded in real-world results. Laura serves as on the in the executive committee of the Virtual World Society and the advisory board of XR Women. Welcome, Laura. Thank you for being here. Please remind you to put your megaphone on and let me know when you're ready. And please advise when you'd like me to advance the slides.
Okay, Julie, can you hear me okay? Am I the sound all right?
Loud and
Yes.
clear. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Julie, for that beautiful poem and introduction. That was really fantastic. And I'm really excited to be with this entire panel today. You're going to hear a lot of different perspectives from different folks. I just want to say that, my role in this has been more, Julie's poem talks about educating children, but all of us as adults in the XR industry know that education and training are lifelong journeys. And a lot of my involvement has been in the enterprise and industrial and vocational space. In fact, I've been a product and program developer and studio leader in virtual worlds and VR, off and on, mostly off, but sometimes on for the last 20 years, starting back with military simulation and going and presenting research results at those conferences. So, by the way, my QR code for my company is at the upper left-hand corner of the screen. And moving right along, if you pick up almost any survey of VR in the last several years about VR for commercial purposes, the top application they're going to talk about is training and education as a major application. It has been very successful, but it also has taken a long time to get here. Where we are in 2025 is that there's a whole world of pilot programs out there and some operational programs that are really working at scale. I would say those are still in the minority, but they are increasing. And I think importantly too, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of research projects that have been completed that show that the results are in. This stuff works. It really works. It does have to be well designed, but it really works. So we are poised now to go mainstream. We are poised to be operationalized. And we are also poised to make this kind of training normal. We're poised to, but we're not quite there. So that's what I'm going to talk about. On this slide, you see a few examples of some training that has been developed. The PwC study, which is very famous, people have been quoting it since 2020. It was a study of managers in 12 locations that used simulated humans to do some management training. And you can see some of the incredible statistics there that are repeated across the internet. Believe it or not, other studies have been done, but this is the most quoted one. Nursing training, especially as compared with mannequin training or role-playing training. Many studies have been done. Most of them are pretty small, but the BMC study, biomedical study, that was published was 675 students. It did show some very positive results. And then if you go to military simulation training, where simulation is used to provide a safe environment to do very, very stressful, dangerous work and practice it, that's been applied to law enforcement, firefighting, and many other vocations. So we are showing this stuff works. Let's go ahead to the next slide. So the question is, what is immersive anyway, and why does it make a difference? I think it's important to think about this because as we deploy immersive, it may not all be in VR headsets, okay? In the last few years, we've had inexpensive mixed reality headsets introduced into the marketplace. We've also had very expensive new ones introduced into the marketplace at very high fidelity. But let's not forget, there's a certain amount of immersion in text, in images, in video, and all of that can be put into the immersive medium as well. I think everybody here knows that immersive is experiential, learning by doing. And so these major points most people here are familiar with. I also make the point that it is adaptive. So unlike an e-learning, for example, the results that you get and the experience you have adapts to you. And as we add AI, we're going to get more and more of that adaptive response from the system. Moreover, it's convergent. It converges many different technologies so that the human or humans in the center are able to take in data and sensors from the real world. Let's go to the next slide. So one thing I'd like for everyone to do, if you have found the chat window, is put some examples in the chat of some major VR installations that you are aware of at scale. So I just put one in back in 2018. Walmart famously published that they had purchased 17,000 headsets, and they are still using them and planning to train 1 million employees with these headsets. That is incredible. I know of other very impressive installations. Why don't we share some of those with each other while I talk about what some of the problems are in implementation of these large installations? They're listed here. I'll just pick on the cost. And I think everybody should think about when dealing with the cost of a large installation. Remember, it doesn't all have to be HMDs. You know, just like the medium we're using right now, some of it could be on PCs, which is less immersive, but it can be effective for some kinds of training. I'll jump now to motivation. What a lot of people forget about when they do their pilot program is the motivation to actually spread it across the company almost always comes from upper executives in a company and motivated learners and learning managers. So that is my 6 minutes, and I'm really excited to hear the next panelist.
Amazing. And I love how you got right down to the 6 minutes. I was going to say, I was going to start throwing up some purple hearts to give you heads up that the time is up. Very well, Laura. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, that's amazing. All right, moving right along. Let me pull up intro here for Amini. Amini is an instructional technology expert, researcher, and advocate for immersive education with more than 20 years of experience in the classroom as a doctoral candidate at Teachers College, Columbia University, and adjunct faculty at NYIT. She brings theory and practice in digital learning. She's the founder of Linguatech Services, where she designs cutting-edge experiences using VR, mixed reality, and AI chatbots. Amini chairs the Technology Enhanced Language Learning SIG for NYS and TESOL and the Virtuatel Conference, with research focused on multimodal conversational AI in MR environments. And her best-selling book and Udemy courses have reached over 7,000 students globally, empowering tech-savvy educators in ESL and EFL. Welcome, Amini. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, as a reminder, to turn on your megaphone, and you have 6 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Julie, and hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here among the amazing panelists and XR Women members. So today I'm going to talk about a project that is very exciting, and it's actually one of the problems that we face in second language learning. So you would see a lot of applications out there for general English, but not applications for English for specific purposes, which is like helping students who come from diverse job expertise improve their language for the job place. And so this project is focused on specifically on job interviews, and it is among the most anxiety inducing situations for ESL and EFL learners. And as educators, we often struggle to give students the kind of real world, language rich practice they need to succeed in these high stake settings. And so, but also other problems is that the curriculum, even me myself, as an educator, can't meet the diverse job goals and linguistic needs of every learner. One class might include the future nurses, hospitality workers, IT technicians, and business professionals. But me as an educator, I can't simply simulate all these job specific interviews in one classroom. And so to address this, we can move to the next slide. Um, there is a project that was actually conducted in two community colleges in the greater New York area, where a learning environment in mixed reality was introduced to students, where they could practice job interviews using mixed reality and embodied artificial intelligence. And so the AI in this experiment was capable of adapting to a wide range of job types and interview formats, and the mixed reality setup made it feel immersive but not isolating. and also more situated. And it was just like role play. And so one of the problems in this research was that how we can integrate immersive environments with conversational AI into the classroom in a way that wouldn't replace the teacher but supplement the classroom. And so, of course, it was based on one of the pedagogical frameworks in language learning, which was integrated in the classroom, where the students step into this MR session for only 20 minutes. And it was really amazing because there were other students who were using other tools, artificial intelligence tools, but non-immersive. And you would see students putting on the headsets. They gesture, they speak, they interact naturally. You see them wave with their hand. And if they were as if they were in an actual interview. Some even asked to stay longer, especially those with real job interviews the following day. And so many of them who used mixed reality, they reported feeling less anxious and more prepared. And many said that they felt like they were speaking with a real human, not a machine, which boosted their self-confidence, encouraged them to use more English rather than falling back on their native language, which happened to me as an educator. When I helped the other students, they usually I don't know what happens when you deal with a human, because probably I have no idea about the jobs that they are interested in. And so they start asking other students in their native language, whereas the students who interacted with artificial intelligence, they never used their own native language. And so, last slide. And so um, I believe that immersive environments made a difference in these students' life because it was situated. Practice happened in a real job-specific context. Actually, the AI avatar is a woman who's sitting on a desk. They see her in the classroom, and I actually had to not make the objects on her office on her desk not non-grabbable, because they told me later that we tried to grab the bottles, we tried to grab, and I was like, yes, I knew that you would do it. I didn't want to distract you. It's also adaptive. AI could reflect the industry, language level, and even the tone of real interviews. And of course, what makes this happen is actually the immersive environment. You feel that you are there and you feel present. And it's also safe and also less expensive, because there have been many studies that were about this, and they also invite industry experts, which was very costly. And so exposing students to these environments that are safe and are not expensive can actually boost their knowledge, and at the same time reduces their anxiety. And I thank everyone, and I think I'm almost done with my 6 minutes, and thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing the next panelist. Thank you.
Thank you, Amity. Thank you so much. All right. That was perfect as well. 6 minutes. That was great. All right. We're going to move over to Tess. Tess McKinney is a powerhouse in immersive education and healthcare innovation. As the CEO of Firework Media Studio, XR Renegades, she leads XR development initiatives and partnerships with institutions like the University of Texas Health, Ohio State, and Creighton University, from VR dental simulations to rural IPC training and nursing education. Tess creates transformative XR solutions that prepare students and professionals alike. Her mission extends beyond her business, donating VR headsets to Nebraska schools, training teachers, and ensuring equitable access to immersive tools. With 15,000 followers and 42 plus company partnerships, Tess is a global connector and advocate for the future of XR learning. Welcome, Tess. Thank you for having us, or thank you for coming, sorry.
Yes.
And please don't forget to turn on your megaphone. You have 6 minutes.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So I'm Tess McKinney. Thank you again to XR Women and Julie for having me be a part of this panel. These amazing women that are fantastic in what they do. Definitely connect with all of them. So yeah, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about what we're doing in Nebraska. As most of you may know, I'm pretty worldwide. We do different things all over, but I'm going to talk today a little bit more about what we're doing in Nebraska. This is just a little blurb about. I did win Innovator of the Year. I'm so excited, but like it's because of what we're doing. So I've invented a few applications, and we give those away for free or under $10 to schools. But what we're doing kind of in Nebraska is, uh, you know, my business started probably about 7 years ago. Really got into business about 3 years ago. Quit my full-time job last year, and it's just been going, and it's a fantastic thing to see. So I just have a couple of quotes from just Nebraska teachers. We've been going into these schools and kind of just discussing with teachers how they could utilize this in career and technical trades. That's probably the biggest impact that we can have, just because in Nebraska there's not a lot of funding for small and rural schools, and that's kind of what we focus on. Um, Part of my business is to set up headsets for colleges and universities and moving into their XR labs. And so when we do that, after 25 headsets, we donate a headset back, like Julie said, to a rural school in Nebraska. Now, at some point that will change, and we will, hopefully be able to give them to every school. But we've already gotten into a bunch of different schools to help with that. All of my time for those rural schools is donated. We don't charge for anything unless they're buying headsets, more than obviously the one that we had. We started with a tiny little school where a teacher said, I have students who don't have ways to. They potentially will never leave our small town, and their parents, don't have cars and don't have transportation to get to even a big city, let alone go to college, let alone go and see the Louvre. And so VR really brings that home, and you can do that in school, and you can go and visit the Mona Lisa, without a glass screen. You can actually walk into the painting, that kind of thing. So we've been trying to do this with schools all over Nebraska. Next slide. So as far as like sorry, I'm switching slides. As far as like the places that we've been helping, so with the headsets, we donated to multiple schools. There are actually 12 public schools in Nebraska that are currently using either a headset that was donated by me or donated by either the community or uh, people in general in the XR space. So at Loop City Public Schools, we actually started with them, and they now have 21 headsets. Some of those were donated, some of them were bought by grant funding. The real question is the state of immersive technology is growing, but it's very it seems like it's gotten faster in the last couple of years, but it's still on the low end as far as having them completely, in headsets at schools. Now, kids love it, especially, younger kids, but even like my college age students, who are building these applications. Like we partner with multiple universities within Nebraska to build applications. So not only are we helping like nursing students get into these applications, but they're helping computer science students build these applications for commercial use, or just use in their healthcare education. So, like for example, at Creighton, we're working with a CPR training module. They're doing a lot of mental health modules. They're trying to adopt it more for their students, to have that kind of hands-on training with AI, and being able to see things in healthcare that a lot of times in healthcare you don't get to see. You may not have a schizophrenic patient until you've been in the industry for 10 years. So having a way to witness that, or to be involved in that kind of setting prior to having that happen to you, is a huge win. It's a way to prepare yourself and to prepare the people around you for what would happen in that situation. We're also doing some pretty big builds with University of Texas Health in San Antonio. We've been building a dental application with haptics to be able to work on people with cognitive diseases. So like dementia and Alzheimer's and autism. A lot of dentists don't have the training to do that. So those are kind of things that we have been like building, and that's something that you can't work on those patients. So this is a way to move the needle, to have dentists be able to practice on patients like that, and and see things that they may not see ever because they chose not to work on someone who has those diseases because they don't have any training. So we work on a lot of those kinds of things. But if you hit the next screen.
Yep, you are at 6 minutes though, Tess.
Oh,
So maybe just do a quick wrap up of this last slide.
yeah, for sure. So I just want to say, like Nebraska Medical Center, so we've had it for about 7 years, but that right at the end, that 712 hours, that was just this semester alone. So you can see the kind of the impact of how many students, there was 92 students, so that many hours were spent in IVR alone. And then I just want to say that at the end, the K-12, we're saving some of these schools 20 to $30,000 a year, or creating jobs that potentially will fill the 240,000 truck driver jobs that wouldn't have been available before because they don't have a way to learn this. So thank you again, XR Women. And if you'd like to know more, please message me on LinkedIn, and I am happy to talk more about it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tess. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Shannon Putman. Dr. Shannon Putman is the founder of Putman XR Consulting, where she pushes the boundaries of what's possible in instruction by leveraging the latest in immersive technology. Her approach is content agnostic, focused instead on performance and impact across classrooms, athletic programs, and industry. Shannon brings a deep understanding of how XR tools can be tailored to elevate education at every level. With a background in both research and practical application, she is passionate about empowering educators and institutions to adopt bleeding edge solutions that actually work. Her commitment is meaningful change, not just flashy tools. Thank you, Shannon, for being here, especially coming to us all the way from Japan. Please turn on your megaphone, and you've got 6 minutes. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And thank you for having me. You guys are worth staying up for, so I really appreciate it. I'll just kind of jump right in. And last year, over the last 18 months, I was fortunate enough to run one of the largest deployments in the history of K-12 education. We deployed 2,450 headsets across the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. We were in 30 different counties, and we impacted over 300 teachers. And actually, when we totaled everything up, we put over 10,000 students in IVR headsets in one school year alone, which was super exciting and everything like that. However, the one thing it did teach us, and it taught me especially, was that in as far as K-12 education, we are absolutely nowhere near where I wish and I hope we would be. I say that as far as the educators and also the technology. And that's not a knock on VR, because we've made such unbelievable advancements in the last couple of years. It's been unbelievable. However, we are not to the level of like a Chromebook, because other than, maybe an internet issue, if I go to use my Chromebook, it's going to work. The Google Classroom's going to work. I can turn it on. Everything's going to work. And I cannot say the same about a single headset. And I've worked with every single one of them, whether it be Quest 2, Quest 3, 3S, Pico 4 Ultras, they HTC, they are not 100% reliable yet. So what's happening is we have educators who don't really even know about the technology either. And the analogy that I kind of say is that we have amazing, wonderful educators who are dedicated to their overhead projectors because they finally know how to use them in their instruction. And VR is kind of like Smartboard coming in and trying to change the way they actually teach. And so just like it was a long process until, we could get through it, I think we're in for the long haul for VR. But the amazing thing is that we've got wonderful people like everybody here, and we know the value of this technology. And so I think we're just going to have to keep chipping away at it and continuously teaching educators why the technology is so important and what exactly is spatial learning, and especially 3D spatial learning, and why it's so impactful for their students. Because until they can get to that point, it doesn't matter, how flashy it looks or anything else. They have to actually see and experience and understand how they can integrate it into their instruction instead of using it as a replacement for their skills. And so we need them to want to use the technology so educators can still maintain their creativity. And then with the next slide, what that does is that also lets us know that we need to include every student. And so what we've done at XREPS is we have created a patent pending technology and form of utilizing the VR. We're actually pitching it at the Harvard XR Showcase this upcoming weekend. So really excited about that. But the point is, not only do we need software and VR software that is quote unquote for our special needs students, like Florio is an unbelievably fantastic software that helps our students with ASD and other communication disorders practice communication exchanges and things like that. But we also need the technology to be accessible for everybody. And so what we've done is we actually worked with my friend, that's Nolan right there. And when he first told me about how he used to play VR, it was him watching his brother play Job Simulator because he couldn't use his arms. And so we actually worked with him, and we've created a way utilizing various head tracking components, and then voice recognition where he can play the game just like everybody else. And so now he can play video games with his brother as opposed to sitting and watching. So we need to ensure that the technology and the software is actually accessible for everybody. And that's what is super passionate for what we're doing, and what we hope to continue to do, and bring this technology to everybody. And then last slide. The way that we do that is we have to be able to support our educators. And I never use the word teacher because I think people outside of education like to just focus on the classroom teacher and the superintendent because they're the ones that decide where the money is spent. Well, actually, we need to include everybody in the school environment. That includes our paraprofessionals because usually they spend more time with the students than the actual teacher. Lunch ladies, one of the head custodians at one of my schools is a 65-year-old gentleman that had never put on a headset, but he saw how much the kids loved it, and he worked with me and learned how to use it, and he's now the head of our VR implementation team. So we need to include everybody in the learning environment, and then also be there to support educators every step of the way. I have educators text me at midnight, they've got issues, things like that. And we have to be there to respond until the technology can be reliable where we need it to. So I think everybody working together, we can get there. And I've never been more excited about the potential for VR in education. And I want to thank everybody for having me, and keep doing great work.
Thank you so much. That was so awesome. And like everybody, just truly inspiring. Thank you so much, Shannon. All right, Sarah. Sarah Barker is a media psychologist, certified embodiment coach, and award-winning documentary producer whose work sits at the intersection of immersive tech, mental health, and ethical design. With 2 decades of experience in adult education and advanced degrees in film and media psychology, Sarah brings a rare blend of creative insight and research rigor. Her current work focuses on VR mindfulness, interventions in the role of belief systems of online contemplative spaces. She cultivates trauma-aware digital environments that champion somatic awareness and contemplative rigor. Sarah's weekly VR meditations, Substack writing, and academic research reflect her deep commitment to ethical leadership and inner transformational and digital services spaces. Please welcome Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for being here. And don't forget to turn on your megaphone, okay?
Hey, thank you. And thank you, XR Women. I appreciate you so much. So I'm going to go into my teacher mode to keep it on time. So hello, my name is Sarah Barker, and thank you so much for letting me be here. This is going to sound a little scripty because it is, because I'm looking at a clock. So I'm going to set my clock, and away we go. And yes, this is one of the things that I taught was voiceover and voice performance. So you get to see a whole other side of me for those of you who've known me for a while. All right. So I really had a really great time with this ask of Julie. In fact, I changed my entire presentation after we had our rehearsal, and it allowed me to go back and look at my hometown of Los Angeles, but to actually look at where my heart is, which is rural America. And also, I grew up in rural America somewhat half my life. So I got to go look at rural California. So let me tell you about it. Kern Community College District recently secured $1 million in state funding to build a mobile virtual reality lab. This initiative will bring immersive career training directly to rural students across California. Today, I'm going to walk you through why this matters, who it's for, and what kind of measurable impact it could have on learners and communities. I'll drop my website in the chat if you'd like to explore more of my work as we go, but I don't multitask, so you'll have to wait to get that. All right, so if I could have the next slide, that would be great. Thanks. All right. So Kern Community College District is building a 30-foot mobile trailer packed with cutting-edge augmented and virtual reality technologies. They're calling it the Economic Mobility Lab. And the goal is exactly that. I'm going into my voiceover mode. It's exactly that. But seriously, this is really exciting. This lab will travel across Kern County. And by the way, when I'm done with all of this, because I really want to keep it on time here, I will drop a map to Kern County so that you can see exactly what Kern County covers in rural California. So let me just take that sentence back. This lab will travel across Kern County, bringing immersive hands-on training experiences directly to students, many of whom live in rural or underserved. I don't like that word, underserved. I'll keep that word for now because I'm just reading. Instead of asking students to come to the tech, KCCD is bringing the tech to them, breaking down barriers to access, and opening up new pathways to education and workforce development. And again, I'm sorry this is like so scripty, but I want to keep it on time. I only have like 3 minutes left, and I have a long way to go. So I'll just say that I actually really am extremely excited about this. I really do encourage you to click on the links that I have available. Because I think that you will get pretty excited about it too. I just learned about it for this presentation. And yeah, so I think I'm ready for the next slide. Okay, yes, great. So the lab will support students preparing for careers in areas like cybersecurity and physiology by offering hands-on simulations that reflect real workplace scenarios. So I'm going to go off my script here for a second. Again, these are not my areas. Cybersecurity, and I think you've even heard some of these already addressed today by some of the incredible women up here. So what I have here, cybersecurity, students can engage with environments modeled after National Security Agency workstations, helping them build practical skills in a low-risk setting. Again, the script here gets into gamified elements. I am really excited about that. I'm looking at my clock here, so I got to keep it moving. That's my jam. Game-based learning theory in particular, and gamification coupled together, and how it's being used in VR. Very exciting stuff here. So this is really kind of getting into something that I definitely am very excited about, and I look forward to seeing more about what they're doing here. So let me just finish my script so you can get the whole story here. This is where I get into it. This aligns with what I've been reading about research on and self-regulation, and self-regulated learning in particular, and you can go and find out more about that. And I just wrote something about that actually, and there's lots of research, particularly in the last 3 years, that talk about how and self-regulated learning is, I've been teaching for 20 years. It's how everything I do is modeled on the idea. And yes, we're bringing it into VR is a great way to utilize these ideas. I have 1 minute left. When students are given tools to guide their own process, the learning tends to be more intentional and internally motivated. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you so much. Let me get on over to that slide. She can do it. She's going to do it. This work is being funded through a $1 million grant from the state of California, thanks to the support of Assemblywoman Jasmeet Bains. Look her up. Her leadership is helping make immersive learning more accessible across Kern County. This isn't just about the technology. It's about creating real opportunities for students who haven't always had equal access to hands-on training. It's meaningful to see the state backing programs that bring education into alignment with the needs of the community and the realities of the workforce. So thank you so much. I'm done. Yeah, appreciate you.
All right, Sarah. Awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. All right. Our last speaker of the day is Ned Choi. Ned is an emerging force in the immersive space, currently pursuing her MFA in game design and development at SCAD. With a foundation in English literature, she brings a rich storytelling perspective to inclusive design and creative innovation. Ned is the founder of XR Women's Student Chapter at SCAD, where she's championing underrepresented voices and builds supportive communities in immersive tech. And her passion lies in creating accessible experiences and fostering collaboration through emerging tech. As a rising leader, Ned is shaping the future of immersive media with purpose and her heart. Thank you, Ned, for being here. Please turn on your megaphone and take it away.
Hi, everyone. Am I clear?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So
I just
it's an
turned on your
honor.
megaphone.
Okay, it's amazing to be part of this wonderful panel, and I am constantly, continuously learning from all of you educators. I'm a student, so I just see myself as someone who's actively learning always in the space, and I will always be a student no matter what. So I am today here to speak about a little bit from a student perspective, and how I see emerging technology, specifically AI, shaping the future of education. Again, from a student perspective. So I am in touch with a lot of amazing creative people across GAD, both from undergrad and grad students, and I see that how we are all kind of starting to get the idea that we definitely need to use AI more actively in our school projects. But why is that? Because, like just taking us back to a year ago, we weren't speaking about AI that much at school. It was like kind of a hush hush, and in our class projects, it wasn't very popular. But fast forward today, we are being encouraged by our teachers to, and sometimes it's even required to integrate AI into our creative workflows. And this shift is really happening, less than 12 months, and we see it now. And this is challenging not just for students, I would say, but also for educators. And why the shift? Well, I would say, firstly, because the industry is moving so fast. Like, as we heard right now, a lot of different stuff are happening. And right now that I am speaking with you, I am sure that some very serious breakthroughs are happening at the same time across the globe, which we will be informed like within like 5 hours from now. So the shift is real, and we have all embraced it. So next slide, please. So, what is the shift? AI isn't just a bonus skill anymore for us as students, it's actually a basic expectation, I would say. When you get into interviews with companies, you are constantly being asked that it's not just being asked that what are your experimentations, but what have you been actually working on? What are some actual projects that you can show us? Like, uh, what did you create with AI? How did you integrate it in your creative workflow? And but beyond that, I want to just focus also on the creative value that it brings to our projects in school. So, still a lot of students are not that comfortable with using AI because they kind of see it as their competitor. But I personally don't think that AI will replace my creativity, never. It's going to be probably my creative companion, and it's playing that role right now actively. For example, if I want to do like a storyboarding or a concept that I don't have time for, putting in like 2 weeks, because we are also on very crunch deadlines. Well, AI could really help me to quickly visualize some ideas, and even further than that, like I can come up with 5 storyboards instead of like one, and then like start choosing and start building on top of that. But that's the thing is that we have all had more experience working without AI. So I believe working with AI is new to all of us. So we are kind of all tackling with this new thing, with the new tools that are coming out every day. And we see how it's really accelerating our process. So, for example, I would say that in game engines and animation, AI is being used a lot. And every day we see different SDKs, like how LLMs are being integrated into the engines to help us achieve a smoother workflow, like procedural generations and open world systems. So it's all like amazing how like XR simulation and healthcare, we are right now working on different several projects in that area at school. So it's all like fascinating to see how AI is empowering us as creators to just bring that all to pull that all together. Next slide, please. So the impact, I would say that the pace is overwhelming, yes, but it's really evolving daily. And today I'm not here to speak about the fear, but the potential. And I want to just give you a quick example about my last quarter that I built a game to raise awareness about uh, the challenges that people who are living with disability face in social environments. And AI really helped me a lot with drafting that document, and improving my language and generating my initial visuals for, putting all my game design documentation together, and focus more as a creator, as a game designer, on my levels, on my mini games, on, putting in meaningful mechanics, and creating an engaging narrative around that game that I was building. So, yes, I would say AI is my companion, and I really mean that. It doesn't do the thinking for me, but it helps me in my thinking process to, pull different things together. Uh, and also, it'll allow you to be multidisciplinary. I see, like how people are like animation students, they are also like uh, trying to get into the game field. All of us are trying to just try new things that we haven't been able to do before. I would just wrap up with this, that AI is not giving us concepts, but it's just being our companion. And it's important to learn the skills to communicate with AI. It's important to learn that, because you're not talking with your instructor, you're just talking with AI. So that requires different skill sets that we are trying to teach in our club, just holding workshops and preparing us for the industry. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Ned. And, what a great way to end our panelists. Thank you so much to Laura, to Amini, Tess, Shannon, Sarah, and Ned for presenting today. I'm mindful of time for everybody. It is top of the hour in case anybody has to jump to a meeting. But if our panelists do have a couple of minutes to stick around, and if anybody has any questions, they would like to raise their hand. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope everybody is as inspired as I am about not only what's happening, but having these people working on changing education in so many different ways. So Thank you so much, everybody, for joining XR Women today. I'm not sure if anybody does have any questions, but this will be the, if you want to stick around and our panelists can stay to answer any questions, please do so now. Thank you very much.